What is up, my Winjas? This is your girl Maya, and in this video we're going to talk about the back of the leg, the hamstrings. You guys have been messaging me about tight hammies, about wanting to stretch it out, and so I'm going to break it all down for you, and we're going to win with hamstring flexibility. Before we get into the stretches, let's break down the anatomy a bit. So the hamstrings are a series of muscles that attach from the back of your knees up to the back of your pelvis. So what happens when you have tight hammies is you might have some back pain, you might have knee pain. You're definitely not going to be able to bend over like this with straight leg to touch your toes, to put on your shoes. You're definitely not going to be able to do any crazy Chung Lee kicks. Woo! You're probably going to be doing things like, oh, I pulled a hammy, because hammies are the most commonly injured muscle group in the whole body because people have tight hamstrings, usually because of lots of sitting, poor posture, and not paying attention and not stretching the hamstrings enough. So, got that? I can't talk about the hamstrings without talking about the pelvis, because some of you guys might not need to stretch your hamstrings at all because they're overly stretched already because of the way your pelvis is positioned. So let's break it down and listen really carefully, okay? So first off, you have to determine, are you a Instagram model? Meaning, do you mostly stand like this, where your butt is sticking out, you've got this arch in your back, and hey, you may look really good on photo because you're like, what's up? But what's happening here with your hamstrings is you're getting an overly stretched hamstring and you're getting a really weak hip. So if this is you, if you do a lot of this action, go to my hip mobility video, which I'll put right up here, and start stretching out the hip flexors and the hip. Now, if you're the opposite of this and you're like the no butt, you've got the tailbone that curves inside. We call this the posterior pelvic tilt, meaning if your pelvis is a bowl of soup, anterior pelvic tilt, all the soup is gonna pour forward. So all my pho, that's my favorite soup, is gonna be pouring forward as I'm like, hey, twerking, right? Soup's just pouring forward. Now, posterior pelvically tilted people, their soup's pouring backwards. And they might look like this, and their shoulders might be rounded, and they might be walking around like this. Hey, stop, stop, stop. Now, if this is you, you may not even be this obvious, but if you tend to curl your butt in, and you've got posture like this, now you've got tight hamstrings, because what happens when your pelvis is posteriorly tilted, your hamstrings are getting shortened, while your hip flexors are getting lengthened and stretched. So this video is for you. All right, scientific anatomy stuff out of the way. Let's start stretching. There are hundreds of different ways to stretch your hamstrings. I'm gonna show you a few. You can choose your own adventure, pick the one that you like, and play around with them. But the key thing I want you to remember is to not just all of a sudden go into a static stretch and start holding a stretch without having warmed up the muscles. Muscles like being warm. It likes being all like loose before it goes into a stretch. Okay, so how I like to warm it up is I might run in place, 30 seconds, do some jumping jacks, do something to get your heart rate up a bit, to get your muscles warmed up a bit, and then keeping your legs straight, we'll just do some straight leg kicks. Alright, so this is dynamic. We're not just statically stretching it, we're keeping it dynamic because it keeps it moving and it also continues to warm it up. So even when you're doing this, you're going to feel, hey, tight hammies, what's up? I'm keeping my leg as straight as possible, my knees are locked out, and I'm going to touch my toes to my opposite hand. Some of you guys might not even be able to bring your leg that high. That's okay, just keep it low, but keep it straight for me. Keep the toes pointed up into the ceiling, like that, and that's gonna really activate the hamstrings here. So after you do about 30 seconds to a minute of this, you're starting to get really comfortable, your hamstrings are gonna be nice and warm. Let's go to the side now. So we're gonna do like ninja style, front kick with a hook. So like, but you don't have to be being that aggressive. Although we should always be running around hi-yaing everything. So nice tall posture, my abs are zipped up. If you uppercutted me, this is like rock hard steel, yo. So just a nice front kick. This helps to activate and dynamically warm up the hamstring muscles that connect to the other side, the inner thighs and the outer thighs. So we're just going in and out. Hold on to something if you don't have the balance. But I don't need anything. Don't be afraid to like hold on to something. Just keep your balance. This is not a test of balance. This is a test of just warming things up. So don't feel like you don't need to hold on to something. All right, 30 seconds to 1 minute on each side, keeping the knee straight and locked out. Woo, you're gonna feel this all up in there. Eventually you're gonna be doing all types of like, Okay, I'm having way too much fun here. Now we can get into the static stretches. So the first one, you're gonna be standing up. You could do this right after doing your cool little front kick, side kick, all that stuff. So the key thing to remember here is to keep your legs totally straight. You don't want to bend in the knee. You want it straight, and you're just gonna be hinging at the hip. So like a deadlift, you don't want to round your back. So all I'm doing here is, boom, already I feel it. So I'm really flexible, so I can go all the way down. I don't know if you can tell, but my legs completely straight. I'm feeling this hamstrings here like, stretching out. My back is neutral, belly is still in, and just breathe. So hold each stretch 30 seconds to 1 minute. Keep breathing through it. If you start having pain, just come out slowly, okay? To come out of this, just bend that knee, and boom, you're out. What I love about the standing hamstring stretch is you can literally do this anywhere. So anywhere where you can stand up tall. What's up, Bob? You might be at work. Hey, what's up, Bob? You could just lock that knee and hinge right over and get a stretch in. How are those kids, Susie? You could be at the water cooler. Hey, what's up, Matt? Did you get that discount? What discount? Where did that come from? But the point is, you could do this anywhere, which I like. It's accessible, there's no excuses, you don't need a mat, you don't need any equipment. And then eventually, you're gonna be able to do both legs. So I'm gonna keep my knees locked, I'm gonna bend at the hip, and then I'm gonna feel all the stretching through the back of the leg. So as you can see, this is a movement pattern that is really common in the deadlift, which is my favorite exercise to target the back of the leg, the lower back, to get it all strong and freaking bulletproof, right? So when you could do this really good without any pain or discomfort, you're gonna be able to load weight on, and then you're gonna be like, snatching and doing all types of cool things. For the next one, we get to lay on our backs. This is really good if you have back pain and doing the forward bend is really hard on your back and you can't really do it. So this is awesome. Like anyone can do this, especially beginners with really tight hammies. So the key to remember in the laying hamstring stretch is your lower back here, this arch. I want you to take it and push it down into the ground. So we call this the flat back. Flatten that back, pretend there's a little something down there and you're squishing it, okay? Really be conscious and purposeful of flattening that back down while keeping your belly into your spine. And now the other one is you're gonna wanna keep one leg completely straight. So this, a lot of people cheat, right? And they do this. No, flatten the back, keep one leg straight, and then now pull your leg, which is also straight, towards you. You can grab by the back of the knee. You could take a belt and grab it by the toe. So I'm quite flexible. Some of you guys may just be here. But as long as you're keeping that back leg, you're gonna get as long as you're keeping that leg straight, you're gonna get a really good stretch. Woo! I'm already feeling it. So the reason why we're keeping this leg straight and this back flat is that we're not allowing ourselves to cheat and compensate. Because when you start doing this and when you start doing this, you're gonna get a lot of flexibility. But no, we're not. We're gonna flatten it, flatten that, straighten this. So I want your balls of your feet into the sky and bring it in. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, 30 seconds. 60 seconds, do what feels good, come out, and then repeat on the other side. The last one we'll do is the sitting forward hamstring stretch. So level 1 for this one is to have one leg bent. Take one leg, pull it into your groin, keep this toe pointed up, keep the knees locked, and then we're gonna bend at the hip. So you don't wanna cheat and bend by rounding the back. You wanna just bend at the hip, just like we do in the deadlift, and then that's it. You're gonna feel it all the way up. You're gonna probably feel this in your calves too. And just chill. Each time you exhale through any of these stretches, lean in a little bit more. I love pairing my breath with my stretching. It's become such a meditative, relaxing experience instead of a mother effer type of experience. Okay, so once again, 30, 60 seconds, 2 to 3 sets, and then repeat on both sides. Once you feel really good and you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can put both feet together, both toes pointed up, both knees locked out, and let's start hinging at the hip. Oh, yes. So you can also do this anywhere. Instead of sitting and watching TV on the couch, go ahead and sit and watch TV on the ground. Netflix and forward sitting hamstring stretch. Huh? How about that? So that's it, guys. There's a million other stretches out there. Those are a few of my favorite and a few that just gets me results because they're easy to do. And the whole point of movement is the more you move, the more you enjoy moving, the better you will get at moving. So if we make it really hard with like all types of crazy tools and stuff, it may prevent you from doing the damn thing. So give those a try. Let me know how it feels. Come back here and comment, okay? I love hearing from you guys. And if for any reason YouTube is not letting you comment on this video for some reason, go to the community tab and let's stay connected there. You can also follow me on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I have my website, I have a blog, I have a newsletter. Guys, I am all over the damn place. Everything is under Move with Mya, M-Y-A, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace out!